Okay, so every year I do something called In Your Shoes, which is an opportunity for me to go out and be in the shoes of other people doing their jobs. But one of the things that's been fed back to me recently is people are quite keen to see what an average week is like for me as the MP for Glasgow East. So as we head into what will probably be one of the most significant parliamentary weeks in the history of the House of Commons and British politics, then this is a week in my shoes. So it's just gone around about 8 o'clock on Monday morning, and this is the beginning of my working week, so hope you enjoy it. Okay, so I just had a great meeting with Fibro Friends United Scotland in advance of tomorrow's parliamentary debate on fibromyalgia. I think it's really important to hear from people that are actually affected by fibromyalgia. Far too often politicians go into the chamber of the House of Commons, say what they think without actually asking people, so really good to get that opportunity to chat to them this morning. I'm now on my way to Glasgow North East Carers Centre to meet with Jean McEnroe, who works up there. Then after that I'm going to some canvassing up in Craigend. Okay, I've just finished a meeting with a fibromyalgia campaign group in Paisley, and before that I was out canvassing in Craigend, and I'm now here at Glasgow Airport where I'm going to catch the 4 o'clock flight down to London City for the next few days to be in Westminster. Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm here in my office in the House of Commons, and the day's not over for me yet. I'm now looking over a lot of the emails that I got about fibromyalgia and making sure that as much of this testimony is included in my speech for tomorrow morning's debate. So still another couple of hours left to run as I rattle through this and write my speech for tomorrow's debate. It's just gone 20 to 9 on Tuesday morning. Before the parliamentary day starts on a Tuesday, I normally go out running with some of my colleagues. So I've been out with my colleague Alan Brown from Kilmarnock and also Neil Gray from Airdrie and Shot. So just finished the run and looking forward to going and taking part in the debate on fibromyalgia. So it's just gone 20 past 9, fresh from being out running, armed with a good strong cup of tea. I'm now heading into Westminster Hall where I'll be taking part in a debate on fibromyalgia. So that will run until 11 o'clock this morning, so now we've got 1 hour and a half of debating ahead of me.
The issue of work capability assessments is a major issue as well. I understand that guidance was worked up with one of the charities in Maximus. I'd be grateful if the Minister can clarify whether or not that guidance has been cascaded through the DWP for decision makers. On the issue of reasonable adjustments, I think that point has been covered well enough, but I do think that there is a role for the Department of Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy to play there, and I hope the Minister can have conversations with her colleagues.
Okay, it's just gone 1 o'clock here on Tuesday. One of the things that I do every Tuesday at 1 o'clock during lunchtime is to go to a chapel service for Christian MPs. It's completely cross-party, it's completely ecumenical. It's just a half hour of the week where it's a bit of quiet time to kind of reflect on everything else that's going on this week, and particularly today. So hugely value the opportunity to nip in the chapel service on a Tuesday afternoon. So it's just gone 10 to 2 here on Tuesday at Westminster, and one of the things that I'm doing today is to sign the book for the Holocaust Memorial Day events that are taking place over the month of January. It's a really moving moment just to remember the Holocaust and to recommit ourselves to doing everything we can to rid society of anti-Semitism and intolerance. It's a real privilege to sign that book on behalf of my constituents today. So it's 10 past 2 now on Tuesday. I'm in here in my office that I share with Marion Fellows in the Upper Whip's office in the Palace of Westminster. I'll be spending the rest of the day here because we'll get votes. But one of the things that I'm doing now is going through my committee papers for the committee on the Select Committee on Procedure. They'll be meeting tomorrow, so I've got a pile of papers to go through, think about some of the questions that I might want to ask. So I'll be spending some time this afternoon doing that. Just come out of an excellent drop-in session with Gamble Aware here in House of Commons. Normally around about this time of the day, which is back at 4, we have quite a lot of drop-in events from charities and stakeholders. So a really good session this afternoon, just talking about some of the challenges with gambling in our communities, and probably none more so than we see in East End. So great to hear some of what they've got to tell us today, and I'm away now with some of the action points, writing to government ministers to take what they've told me in here and make that clear to the UK government. Well, it's almost 5:30 on Tuesday night. I'm on my way downstairs now to a Whips meeting with Patrick Diddy, the Chief Whip for the SNP group, Marion Fellows, my fellow Whip, and some of the Whip's office staff here. We are just an hour or so away from votes, crucial votes in the House of Commons. So now's the time that we congregate as Whips to go through exactly what votes will be taking place so that we can instruct our members how to vote. And we're absolutely united as an SNP group that will be voting down Theresa May's botched Brexit deal.
The ayes to the right, 202. The noes to the left, 432.
The This is a humiliating defeat for the government. When I listen to the Prime Minister, it sounds like everybody else is at fault rather than her. She has to accept responsibility for what has happened this evening.
Just gone 8:15 on Tuesday night in the House of Commons, and we have all voted down the Prime Minister's botched Brexit deal. I'm now in here at an SNP group meeting where we're planning the way ahead, and we will vote no confidence in Her Majesty's Government tomorrow. So it's 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning. I'm here at my office in Westminster, just starting to go through some emails and looking at what's coming up over the course of the day. Later on today I'll have my select committee, so having a last look over some of the papers for that. Looking forward to Scottish questions later on as well. But before that, I'm off to meet the First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon. She's down to speak to SNP MPs on what is a massive day here at Westminster.
First of all, there has to be an agreement to extend Article 50. The idea that the House of Commons, the government, can spend 2.5 years failing to come up with a workable, deliverable plan and then suddenly magically do that in a few weeks is fanciful. So that has to be the starting point. And then it strikes me that she has to wipe away the red lines, because she's done the most she can within those red lines, and last night she still felt as if she was saying nothing much had changed and she would just plough on as normal, and that is not acceptable.
So it's almost 11:30 here on Wednesday morning in the House of Commons. I'm literally just about to head into the chamber. Will I be asking Scottish Secretary David Mundell about immigration after Brexit? One of the major issues I wanted to raise is the provision of staff in care homes, such as Greenfield Park. So heading off to the chamber to question David Mundell.
Lyndon. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, this is absolutely pathetic. When we look at Greenfield Park care home in my constituents, we have an ageing population. We need people to come and look after the folk that live in Greenfield Park care home, and the Secretary of State is absolutely out of touch with this. Not really get a grip and understand Scotland's immigration needs are entirely different from this London-centric policy pursued by this British government.
It's just gone 2:30 here on Wednesday afternoon, and I'm in the committee corridor of the House of Commons where I'm about to attend my weekly select committee, so I'm off to the procedures committee now. So it's 4:30 on Wednesday afternoon here in Parliament, and one of the things that I'm doing Wednesday afternoon is to attend a number of receptions, one of which was for Open Doors, looking at the Persecuted Christians watch list for 2019. Some pretty sobering testimony, an excellent speech from the Foreign Secretary who has commissioned a review into the persecution of Christians. It's just good to be here to support this today, particularly an issue that is very close to my heart. It's just about to go 7 o'clock here on Wednesday night at the House of Commons, and for several hours now the House has been debating a motion of no confidence in the Prime Minister. So I'm about to head into the chamber and vote, and I will vote that we have no confidence in the Prime Minister. I'm hoping that this motion will precipitate a general election, because ultimately people have to have their say that this Tory government is run out of steam. It's a government that people in Scotland did not vote for, and that's exactly what I'll be doing when I go in the chamber tonight, to vote no confidence in this Tory government and bring about a general election.
The ayes to the right, 306. The noes to the left, 325. So the noes have it. The noes have it.
On a point of order, Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased that this House has expressed its confidence in the government, and I would like to invite the leaders of parliamentary parties to meet with me individually, and I would like to start these meetings tonight.
I commit the Scottish National Party to working constructively with the government. However, I do think it's important. I do think it is important in that regard that we make it clear to the Prime Minister, in a spirit of openness in these talks, that the issue of extending Article 50 of a people's vote and avoiding a no deal have to be on the table.
So it's not long after 7 o'clock here, and I'm at London City Airport heading home on Thursday morning. Back to the constituency after a few very busy days in Westminster. A bit bleary-eyed this morning, the early flights, the red-eye flights are always quite a tough one, but it's vital to try and get up those as quickly as possible to make the best of the constituency day. So packed day ahead of me in the constituency, and looking forward to finally getting home back to Glasgow.
Just gone after 10 o'clock here on Thursday morning, and I'm back in Glasgow when I get the flight up. I'm here at Glasgow College when I'm meeting with the Principal Alan Sherry to talk about a number of issues relating to the college, but also weather issues, including Brexit and the impact that has on the college sector as well. So I'm just about to go and meet Alan for what I think will be very important. So it's just gone 12:20. I've just finished my first home visit of the day. I do normally about 2 or 3 home visits a week for constituents who are disabled or elderly. So the guy that was in seeing today has problems with damp in his house. So I've just finished meeting with him at his home to see some of the issues with mould in the walls, and I'm heading back to the office now to write a letter off to his local housing association to see what we can do to try and get the issue resolved. It's just gone 2:10. I'm here in my constituency office on Thursday afternoon. Sometimes Thursday I tend to use to catch up with a lot of my constituency correspondence, so a huge big box file here of letters to read and sign. And I've also gone through now 400 certificates for all the children that took part in the Christmas card competition, so pretty sore hand by the end of this afternoon, I think. So it's 4 o'clock on Thursday, and one of the things that I'm doing now is going through the many survey responses I've had back. Each week now I've been trying to get out and deliver New Year resident surveys. This is what's come in this week alone, so loads and loads of comments on local and national issues. So what I'm doing just now is sifting some of this out, making sure that everybody who's written to me does get a reply, because it's absolutely vital that an MP listens to their constituents. We can't just be going to the House of Commons and saying what we think. So everything that I do in the House of Commons is based on things like this, so really important part of the week.
So it's just after 8:30 on Friday morning. I'm here at my constituency office in Shettleston, catching up with some emails. Friday's normally the busiest day of the week, if I'm being honest. It's the kind of guaranteed constituency day. So it normally kicks off with the surgery in the morning and then lots of visits and meetings in the afternoon. So chances are I won't get an opportunity to do any more emails today. So that's why I'm slightly early this morning, get some emails done and then hit the road and get my way around the constituency all day.
So it's just before 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and now in the Friday, normally around 10 o'clock is when I'm doing my surgery. This week I'm in Easterhouse. I'm just about to go into the bridge where I see constituents on a drop-in basis. There's no appointment required. Normally the surgeries are pretty busy, so some people can wait up to 2 hours. That's just an example of the demand that's placed on our services, partly because of the complete incompetence of the UK government. So I'm about to head into my surgery now. Might be quite a busy one. So it's just gone 1:20 on Friday afternoon, and I've just finished the second in a series of home visits. I do home visits regularly for constituents who are elderly and disabled, and so the home visit I've just been to is a family who are desperately needing rehoused because of a disability. So I was in not only kind of taking details of the case to make representations, but also giving them advice on how to get more housing and more options. So it's just come up to 5 o'clock on Friday. That is pretty much the end of my week. I hope you've enjoyed following along. Since I last spoke to you, I've had a number of meetings here at the office. Also spent some time catching up with my SNP colleague Alison Teolis, talking about some common issues between both our constituencies which are adjoining. And now I'm just finishing off the last few bits of correspondence and looking forward to my weekend, which includes, like every other normal person, getting off to the football. In my case, going to watch my team, Airdrieonians, getting gubbed by Celtic. But next week I've got a busy week planned, a whole number of things, including a supermarket surgery next Saturday. But the highlight next week will be a debate on mental health and benefit assessments, which has been led by my colleague Angela Trolley. So if you've got any examples or anything you want me to raise, please get in touch. But until then, have a good weekend.